What's going on, wrestling fans? Welcome into another edition of Near Falls with D Hall, a wrestling podcast. Today, it is my favorite episode of the year, my favorite project, the WPIAL Preseason Preview. So pumped up to release this to you guys. Just right off the bat, we're doing it a little bit different than we did last year. Last year, I had them all together on one. It was like 3 hours long. It was a lot. This year, I'm changing it up. Each single team is going to have their own little video, their own little episode of the pod. So you won't have to sift through all the other stuff. Super excited for that. We talked to all these different coaches, man. I had 30 guys come on from across AA and AAA, which shattered my goals for this year, which is awesome. So yeah, man, I'm just super excited to release this to you guys. It was a lot of fun. These coaches were open and honest. They had great insight, and for me, man, just to sit down and listen to these guys talk about what they're wrestling, there's not much better in my world. So without further ado, here is the WPIAL Preseason Preview. Thank you, guys. Love Jens. As always, brought to you by Switch Custom Apparel.
Welcome to the Near Falls WPIAL Show, where Dial and Kaz are gonna tell you all the things you wanna know. Whether it's Trinity or Spencer Lee or Mr. Kurt Angle, just ask Vinny D. WPIAL, Ken and Mac for sure. They got the interviews to soothe your soul, because it's Near Falls in the WPIAL.
Okay, joining me now on the call, we have head coach of North Allegheny High School, Jamie Kiriazis. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good indeed. Man, I'm super pumped to have you on. I had Rob Walco on, came over, hung out with me. We talked about you a little bit on the long form episode. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, that in itself, and just always good to have you on, my friend.
You know what? Something came up right there, and it just blocked what the last thing you said there. So if you were asking me something,
no, no, you're good. I was just going on a little soliloquy.
Yeah.
How I had Rob Walker over the house, and he mentioned you on the episode, and just had great words about you. So
well, I appreciate it. And I love Rob, and I think he's in his element when it's he's talking wrestling and around wrestling, and we love having him in our room as a club guy with Quest. So it's been good.
No doubt. Okay, next thing I have on the list, alumni. What are some of the guys doing in college?
So as you know, last year I came back from about a 7-year hiatus, and so there's some guys that are out there that I didn't coach, but Max Stedderford is one. I coached his older brother Zach for a couple of years before I retired, and but Max is at Mercyhurst, seems to be doing well there, and Dylan Coy is another one that is doing well at Wisconsin. I don't know specifically their status as far as starting lineup, but I know those are two that could mention, as well as Jake Woodley he graduated he's done, but Oklahoma, and obviously had a successful career there, and it was good to see him. He actually came back in and paid us a visit today in the room and showed some guys a couple of things. So I love when that happens. So kind of full circle.
Yeah, man, that's the best thing ever. You get someone like that who wrestled at the Division I level, the highest stage that's in our sport, back in the room showing the guys stuff. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, off-season program. How's it look for you as you kind of settle back in as head coach?
Yeah, off-season, it's interesting. It went well. We started establishing some club stuff, like I mentioned, with Walco and our own in-house. Kind of a lower level club. When I say lower level, you're not bringing in all the advanced guys that are going at it. But so that was good. And preseason, you got a lot of guys. We have a lot out right now because obviously our football team's doing well still, and that makes it challenging. And the guys that are working preseason that aren't in football or other sports are doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Getting I think we established a good base of off-season options for these guys to do, and it works for their schedules and whatnot. So it was good. I think we're definitely still building it, but it's definitely getting there.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, as you're building, who are some of those leaders that you're recognizing as the season's getting going this year?
Yeah, in the room right now, like I said, we're technically missing about a third of our room because
Right.
there are eight football guys and 3 or 4 starters. But so it's a smaller room right now, and that's not a bad thing. It's obviously looking forward to having the football guys back and keeping them healthy. But in the room now, guys that are returned, we just mentioned Max Setterford, his brother Gus, doing a nice job, did a great job for us last year, and he's working hard and a leader in the room right now, along with Casey Walker. They've been partners, and that's the thing too. Your partners are kind of slim pickings at the moment, and I'll explain that in a moment as well. But
yeah,
Kellen Buggy's another one right now in the room, and he last year, I think he started making some strides, and really he's just focusing. He decided to go all in on wrestling, so he's been doing the club thing, doing the off season tournaments, and working hard. So another one that has established himself. I will say too, Travis Tipidich is another one that good to have him back. He was last couple years. I haven't really even seen him wrestle except for when I was doing a broadcast thing when he was a freshman because he's been injured. But getting him back in the mix and in there, those are the guys right now I think that are kind of leading the way. And we have other guys. Will Bentram's another one that he's a senior and one of those quiet leaders in the room. So it's a good room right now, and guys are working. We're pleased with what we're seeing right now. So
love that. Okay, as you're talking about those seniors, those leaders, how about some freshmen? Any of those guys coming up that might make some noise?
I'll tell you, we have one freshman in the room. Evan Schomburg, who did real well in junior high. I don't think he's not going to be, a huge name maybe coming up, but he's a 107 pounder, and really like what I see with him. He's a hardworking kid, and so I think you'll hear his name. And honestly, I don't even really know right now. I need to dig into the whole preseason rankings and all that stuff, just see who is where. But I like his chances coming up and doing well this year. But like I said, he's the only freshman. A couple of guys I mentioned, Gus Steadford, sophomore, but Griff Reed's another one I didn't mention. He had a good. Him and Gus came up as freshmen last year and did a good job, and he's also doing well in the room. So
good stuff. Okay, next thing I have on the list. How about your schedule? What's it look like this year for you guys? How have you built it year 2 at NA?
So we start off with Cannon Mac, and that wasn't necessarily by choice. Not that I don't want to wrestle them, but it just happened that, schedule wise and, talking with the AD. And I actually had a conversation with him today. I'm like, hey, listen, I never back down from competition, but this is part of it. With our football team always doing fairly well, it does make it tough to go against the guys. And I just want a good match, So, but that's it could be a good barometer, but we'll see. Definitely, depending on what happens in the next week or two, will determine some things with that match. But we went heavy on the team duels. We gotta have a mix of a couple of tournaments, and we start off with Trinity duels and Kiski duels, and we did that last year. And I know Trinity duels kind of up their game as far as who they invited.
That was a dogfight last year. That was some good stuff.
There were some good matches there. They had a couple weaker teams, but they were trying to do away with, some of the teams that, and I know it happens, some teams drop out and it's tough to get every team to be a strong one. But so that was a good one. Yeah. And we like the Kiski duels was another good one. And then we actually added a third one in January. We decided, I know, and some people weren't happy with it, but it's a good tournament that, the Midwinter Mayhem
Yep.
We're not going there. I could see us going back next year, depending. But Connellsville invited us. We didn't go into the Connellsville duels, and I just like the team aspect and the team duels and all these guys that maybe in some of these tournaments we've been going 2 and out, or maybe 3 matches. You're getting the definite 4 or 5 matches in these duels. So that's where we're at with it. And then we're gonna
trying to get these guys mat time. I got you, brother.
Yeah. And we're going to the Bethlehem Liberty tournament, which a lot of good teams out east and all over there.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, and it's I think a lot of times people think, hey, Powerade, obviously that's an incredible tournament, but it's not for everybody. And right now, we don't think it's for us. We could be back there, but we want to see these guys flourish.
Yeah, man. No doubt. I mentioned that a little bit when I got invited on to Westmoreland Sports. It's like the toughest high school tournament in the country right now. You know what I mean? It's a dogfight, and
it is.
Kudos to Frank. He's put on. It's a show. It is amazing. It's my favorite event of the year, no doubt. But yeah, it is a dogfight for sure.
Yeah.
Coaching staff, who's helping you this year?
So back with me, Dwayne Nishotka, and talk about.
Lost your buddy. Who are some of the guys that are helping you lead the charge this year as far as coaching staff goes?
So we have with me again, Dwayne Nishotka, my main assistant last year, and and I'll talk about him. But Eric Cassidy. So those 2 guys, the 3 of us are really kind of running things. Did lose one guy right now, another assistant, Dustin Layton, just can't do it this year, which I'm bummed because he's great, but hopefully get him back. But what's kind of cool is we have, the 3 of us, along with Dan Heckert is kind of phasing out a little bit because he's the head girls coach, and but we have guys like Rich Catalano still coming in. And some other volunteers in our room, former wrestler Caleb Schwager helping out every day. And so we've got a lot of hands helping us, and we kind of take turns really, leading the practices and, working well together. I like working with these guys. We all, no real egos, it's like everyone's just trying to make everything better and kind of sharpening iron, so to speak. So
that makes it easy.
Yeah. So it's been good with that. And, junior high got some good coaches down there too. We could talk. I don't know how extensive you wanted me to go with coaching, but varsity.
You can rip him off real quick.
Well, I mean, Mason Manville is the head coach, and he's
that's not bad. Jeez, man, dude.
Yeah. And he started off last year, and he's got obviously.
How did he end up with you guys?
It's interesting because I think his wife works for UPMC. They moved out here, and before I even was really coach, he contacted Coach Dan Heckert and said, "Hey, I'm out here. I'm, and he's like he's got like military. I think it's like I don't know if it's the reserves and combination of he's going back to school, seminary, and so he's like, I'm going to be here for a while, and he wanted to get involved, and so he's been doing the club thing for us.
Twist my arm, right? Jeez,
man. Right. So, and another guy, Reuben Clark, who his son's coming up through, and he was a longtime junior high coach in North Hills, but he's in the district now, and so that's good there, and it's we're making it work.
That's awesome, man. Great stuff. Okay. Next thing I have, room games. What do you guys get into? Dodgeball, kickball, stickball, handball? What is it?
I love that question, man. It's funny. I'm probably going to give you a longer answer than you want, but it's
that's okay. Hit me, baby.
Well, through the years, we've done. 24 years ago when I started, we were big on crab soccer. With Jake Herbert and Eric Cassidy in the room and those guys, we were playing crab soccer, and it was fun, doing that. Got to be a little careful with that, kicking, get your feet in there and all that stuff. So that kind of phased out, and we got into handball. and that was a
It
big
seems
hit
to be a
for guys
common one, man.
What's that?
That seems to be a kind of a common one. People get into
that right?
handball. But what's your variation?
Well, so we just have within our room, we had two, tape up two,
Like on the
two
wall, the
goals
mat wall.
on the
Yeah,
wall.
that's what we
Yeah.
did at West State too. It was awesome.
Yeah. And, the reason I say a long-winded answer is because, to be honest with you, we've gotten some whisperings, some flack through the years, or parents say, oh, like playing games, like, you should be all business, and like, listen, you got to keep things fun. And that's always been our thing. And so you're doing it. And so last year in comes Mason Manville, and what does he do? First, starting to do some workouts. He's playing dodgeball.
Partner dodgeball.
He does it at the junior high, and he's like, yeah, that's what we do at Penn State. I'm like, well, Penn State, they're not a bad program. They're doing dodgeball. Okay. So, right now we are kind of all business. We're going to start, seeing how these guys, once we start establishing things here, we'll probably be a little bit. I think that's the thing I think they want right now so that's the answer. Probably getting some dodgeball, maybe a little handball. So you got to keep it fresh though,
So will you get involved?
Oh yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. Goalie on handball. Get in there on goalie. You get in there, play goalie on handball.
You know what? No, I'll get in there and play. I'm not a big goalie.
That's a gangster position, man. You got to be a dog to play goalie.
Yeah.
Okay, Coach. Social medias. How can we follow your team this year?
All of them. Got the, I'd say mainly. I mean, Facebook and Instagram, and X, formerly known as. I told you that last year. That's one that I actually finally have them literally on my phone now. And up until last year, it wasn't in social media, and I knew I needed to get more into it. Yep. And I think I need a guy like I said, Dan Heckert, going more with the girls. He's big on that on their side. So one of my guys, I think, is gonna run that. But that's where you can follow us here. We'll get some things going with that.
I love that. Good stuff. Okay. Anything or anyone you want to shout out before I leave you
go? Honestly, I feel like shouting out the entire staff, coaching staff from Pee-wees all the way up. I love the fact we started this, and I should have done it years ago, but we have our Pee-wee coach, the guy leading things, and in preseason, we started all the coaches from all levels getting together. And that made me seem like a no-brainer. Maybe a lot of coaches are doing that, but I never really did that. We all get together and say, hey, what's working here? What are you guys doing down there? What do you want to see in the varsity room? A couple of the Pee-wee coaches, they're up in our room maybe once or twice a week, and then they go back down there. And I'm excited to see what happens with all of that. And again, and a specific shout out to my man, Dwayne Nishotka. I mean, he's passionate, and, my assistant, I think he really, I think he's helping me hold things together, and I appreciate him. And and who knew, a guy from North Allegheny could love a guy from Shaler, but that's where he's from. But I love him.
Man, isn't that funny about the WPIAL? There's all kinds of little niches and little rivalries and stuff.
Right.
Man. I love it so much. I was just talking to the last one about it, man. There's all kinds of little stories and stuff. So
right.
Yeah, we'll be doing a Tuesday live show, myself and Kaz. So we'll grab you or one of the kids on, I'm sure, during the season, talk about a result or talk about an upcoming thing they have going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you, promoting the sport, and I love talking about these guys, and hopefully that's some good things to talk about.
Good stuff. Thank you so much, Coach, and I will see you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, man.